I think one of the biggest things that I've noticed recently, at least, going through all the comments, seeing the past couple videos, just how a lot of the classic player base feels, and really seeing who are the classic players, and you could tell the differences between how the way people label their comments, how they say certain things. And the biggest thing that I've noticed for the most part, something that I think is all in unison together from everybody's complaints, everybody's issues, whether they have problems with the game or they're still fans of Blizzard, no matter what they do, they will completely follow what Blizzard does.
Oh, Satan, it tastes so good.
I could see for the most part that a lot of classic WoW players feel truly abandoned from Blizzard Entertainment. And I think that has to do with a lot of reasons. Obviously, mistakes that Blizzard has made for several expansions now. But also at the same time, when you really think about it, after everything that happened with, 2019 and all that stuff that we went through already, no need to talk about it, and everything that happened with SOD, right? It really feels like that Blizzard themselves thought that a lot of the classic WoW players, or even SOD players, right? They would just go to Mista Pandaria and enjoy their time and not really have a need to complain about anything or a need to really want anything to do with just waiting for something better for the classic community. Just go to MOP and that is it. You're comfortable there and enjoy your time before we do something else, because it's a placeholder for something bigger in the future, as the classic team is trying to leave hints after SOD where they were saying that we're eventually going to work on something different and something in the future is going to come. There's going to be a brighter day. It gives us time to cook for the real classic plus, or the real classic vision that they have in mind. But I think in the meantime it didn't really land well, and I do think a lot of players, you could see it through the comments of a lot of people's videos. You could see it through the comments of even bigger creators, either on Twitch chat, on any social media platform, even on the comments of the last Midnight trailer video. But I think right now what the biggest problem is that even though Midnight is coming out and retail players are happy with this and they are getting new forms of content that they get to adventure through, whether people think that is good or bad, I'm not here to even talk about that. What I am here saying is that classic players have nothing new. There is nothing provided to them that is exciting. There is nothing provided to them that is worth staying up late night, feeling like a kid again. A lot of that feeling that nostalgia captured back in their days, right? And for most people, that is what classic WoW is really based all about, was the nostalgia of a great game that built the foundation of this company to where it is at this point. And a lot of changes have been made internally at Blizzard ever since the release of World of Warcraft to begin with. And I really want to be truthful with you guys, because I feel like you deserve that much, because you don't deserve to listen to a person that sounds like a robot. They're reading off some script, or they're just telling you this suit and tie bullshit, when you really just want to hear a genuine response and be told the truth. And that's what I'm gonna do. Like we're sitting in the living room having a beer and smoking a stogie. Much love to you. I really feel like a lot of players right now have this belief that they are in a permanent situation where the classic scene is in this actual permanent zone, when in reality the facts are this, is that they are going to be taken from one expansion to the next one, and so on and so forth. And you're not having that actual permanence of a world that you truthfully want. And it's one thing loving classic WoW. I can log on Anniversary right now, make 8 characters or whatever, level them all to 60, do raid logs, have fun with a guild, and chill. And that's because we're friends, we're people. That's people creating the good moments with each other. But that's still not the game in itself, where the game is not getting expanded. The game is being left behind. The game is not actually evolving to do something different, to actually make the world more vivid, more brighter. There's more things to do. There's not just, it's raid log city. It's not just GDKP city, even though there is no GDKPs, but China has all GDKPs. You get what I'm saying? What I'm getting at is that we're living in a temporary permanence. And the permanence that we truthfully want, where it's a fucking ever-evolving world, but it's still in the classic scene where there's always constant updates, is a long time ahead. And I really feel like at the current moment, the truth of the matter is this, is that the players in the classic scene, as much as they think that they are in a situation where it's going to last forever, it is temporary. and it's not going to be permanent. And the progress that you have right now is going to get overwritten very, very soon. And then at that point, you're going to overwrite that progress. And maybe people like that. Maybe they just want to live through an endless repeat of classic TBC RAF, classic TBC RAF. And I'm not hating on that. But I think there's a much brighter future where these versions of the game that we love so much can be expanded upon. It can be rewritten, whether it's from a lore point of view, whether it is from exploring different NPCs and dungeons and quests and ever evolving, expanding breathable world that the developers actually add weekly, monthly, whatever type of updates to the game to actually make players feel like kids again. And I feel like Blizzard, in a way, has lost its eye of the tiger when it comes to realizing who their core player base is. The people that really made their game what it is, what it was, and why people love it so very much so. And it really goes to show you, what everything that they're focused on with current retail right now. Of course, they're making updates for Mr. Pandaria. They're trying to get that, running smoothly as they can, even though it had a really rough patch in the beginning. But overall, though, it's going through its cycle, and eventually those mob players are going to wind up going to WoD. Those WoD players are going to wind up going to Legion. Those Legion players might go into Battle for Azeroth. And then so on and so forth. A whole new wave of players going back to the retail system, getting tricked back into the cycle of the very same cycle that they disliked to begin with. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. And these are the same exact players that I feel like are abandoned from Blizzard. Even though they're MOP players, they're the same thing like the classic players. Another group of people that are going through a temporary permanence, and it's truly abandoned its core philosophies of being World of Warcraft, in my opinion. And I think one of the biggest problems, too, to follow up with these abandonment issues is that a lot of players, including myself, too, feel like that the World of Warcraft has lost the Warcraft element to it, and I feel like there hasn't been any strong characters that I can relate to in terms of good storytelling, in terms of, a world feeling that it's ever evolving, a place that I would like to see out from the beginning to the end, where I just feel like I'm just leaving halfway through or even a quarter way through because, when you look at all the expansions together, for most people, a lot of people clocked out after Ratchet and the Lich King, or some people clocked out after Legion. And ever since then, it really feels like it's been a struggle in the writing and creativity department to really nail a core character that people can really relate to and feel like this story is actually the peak of World of Warcraft once again. And it feels like it's been really tough ever since the leaving of Arthas, ever since we've moved past that. It's been really, really hard to find that core, character that can build a story and keep us really engaged to see what happens next. And I really feel like a lot of things over time has really been Disneyfied in a way where it's no longer this strong writing catered to its core audience that really blew this game up to begin with. I mean, come on, this is the same audience that we used to fucking go to stores, getting Mountain Dews, getting shirts at GameStops and chilling with our boys and just skateboarding and macking back in the day. You know what I mean? This was like the old ways of the old. And that group of people, which to this day are still growing up with your game, that love World of Warcraft, that love the classic style of the game, they just don't feel like they are accepted or wanted within these new styles of your product. And it's a reason why a lot of people refer back to the old ways of the game, because they miss those days when Warcraft was about Warcraft. They miss those days when the story writing was strong then. They miss those days when characters actually felt a sense of permanence and things were impactful. And that's the world that people want to return to. And that's why a lot of people yearn for World of Warcraft getting an extension nowadays. Why they want to see something come out of you guys to begin with, a classic plus, so to say, a classic reborn, a classic brand new, whatever you want to call the title. They just want to see the power of grit return, the world having an actual impactful story, characters both mattering on the Alliance and the Horde, and it being about the Alliance and the Horde again. And I think it's very important, Blizzard, to also remember the ways of the old, to not forget what grew your company to begin with. You can also look at it as an example of even Activision, under the umbrella of all the studios that you work with the Call of Duty scene, where the Call of Duty players are very similar to the World of Warcraft players. both players want to return to the days of the old. They want to return to the past because they do not like the current product of what's going on right now. And you can even see with Black Ops 7, majority of those comments, people are tired. They are annoyed at the current product that they are seeing. They don't want to be a part of it, and it's a reason why many of players are looking towards Battlefield 6 as the future of going back to what peak was like in gaming again, because it doesn't treat its consumer base like a bunch of pawns waiting to go to the next expansion. It treats its consumer base with care, passion, and respect and understanding, which is one of the most important values no matter what. It doesn't try to cater to a specific group of people. It doesn't try to cater to the current political viewpoint in the world. It's not trying to cater to any of those things. As a matter of fact, between me and you, Blizzard, it doesn't cater to anything at all besides catering to the gamer itself. And you guys, I believe, have to remember what it was like being a gamer. That's what it was all fucking about. It doesn't care about anything that's going on, whether you're left, right, up, down, straight, gay, lesbian. It doesn't matter. It cares about being a fucking good game. And I think that's what it's all about. Remembering the ways of the old. Going back to things like Battlefield 6. And I can't believe I'm even saying that it's a fucking good game, even though it's under EA. But I gotta give them credit. They're going back to the homage of what it was like back in the day. Coming out of school, not giving a fuck. Chilling in the summers and playing late night games with your boys. Playing in the mornings. Maybe ordering some Chinese food. How you doing? And having a good fucking time. And people want to see that in the World of Warcraft scene especially. They want to see a return to the old. They don't want to keep seeing these new things that you guys keep putting out. While you keep involving retail, you keep forgetting about classic. Oh, you keep giving us these little homages to certain points of time that was nostalgia bait, but you never grow the original world. And it's why players leave for old school RuneScape. Whether you guys talk shit in the comments below about RuneScape or not, at least that company over there with old school RuneScape continues to add new content to their world. What are they adding to classic? Nothing. There's nothing being given to classic whatsoever. So that's my problem, and I think that's a lot of people's problem as well. So I truthfully believe, Blizzard, once you actually take off the shades, look with clarity, and see what the players' wants and needs actually are, you're going to find a really fucking amazing product again one day, instead of putting classic on the back burner like you guys are right now. And it's a reason why a lot of players are leaving for those quote-unquote you-know-what servers you don't want me to mention, and players are just annoyed and fed up already with it. And that's just the honest truth. But I'll leave off with this. Is it all doom and gloom at the end of the day? Is it really the worst situation that Blizzard is ever going through right now in the current standpoint of gaming in its history? No, probably not. Blizzard's been through a lot worse internally. Trust me. I think I know. I think we all know. But I'll say this. Are they really cooking Classic Plus? And even then, is it even going to be close to what anything that we want? And will the suits and the people in ties over there at Activision even allow us to have a good game? Or is it going to be heavily monetized? Is it going to be some bullshit like it is with retail currently? I don't know. I have no idea. But I'll tell you what. All I do know is that the C+ that I see personally is a game that has really good systems. It has really good PvE, it has really good PvP, it has an ever-evolving world, it has characters, maybe some rewritten things that needed to be cleaned up in the past, maybe some, mistakes that they wanted to fix, and it makes some strong connections with those characters. Really good questing, further exploration through dungeons, expanded upon dungeons that we always wanted to see, a different route through those dungeons, newer itemization that actually is impactful as you level, and it gives some care and respect to, your main character or your alt characters, and actual, integrity of maybe even in-game GMs. I know that's a rarity nowadays, but that would be amazing. An actual attacking and handling of getting rid of bots to begin with, to not ruin your game. And if you see anybody doing willing to sell bot style services, you ban these guys, you get rid of them, and actually make your MMO an MMO once again. And I think we can get there in time, but it's going to be a long time before we get there. And I'm just going to be a positive person about it in that situation. But in the meantime, I won't lie to you. There are other people out there that are currently doing this better than you guys are currently doing it right now. And that's just the truth. I'm sure I'll see the comments below them saying it, and they know what I mean already by, closing out with this statement, because they've been to the streams lately. The streams have been extremely great. We've been extremely truthful over there, extremely raw, and giving you our honest takes. And if you guys want to see, everything outside of just the video stuff, so you can get an honest opinion out of me live on Twitch, Kick, and YouTube, you could check me out with all the links down below, because, you know, I'm a genuine person, man. And, you know, not everything that you see on the video is always what you get, and you get to see more out of it when you come to the live stream. So much love to you, amigos. Keep on keeping on, all that good stuff. I'll catch you on the next one. Stay truthful. Stay locked in. And I'll see you then. I've been using this lately. This is my new deodorant. It's alright. It's decent. But I've been thinking about using my balls on it. Any thoughts in the comments below, and we'll shove this up our ass. Much love to you.